the culture of a lot of sets and production is very high anxiety and like high stress, and then that gets transferred from person to person and department to department. And like one thing I always tell you when I tell everybody else, man, these people ain't gonna bring me outside myself. You know? And then that is a culture that our department, you know, we established very, very quickly with the talent, right? Of like, hey, we're here. We're your close confident. We're your close confident.
To the on camera, cast.
To the cast. We're telling them immediately, and more so showing them that we are their advocates,
like
and
we're here
the realest,
for you.
Like, bro, we the realest people y'all gonna meet.
And
in this
that
production.
was now you're hitting on a difference, because what it could. Okay. Here we go.
Do it.
I'm trying to figure this out, so just kind of roll with this.
Yeah, no.
What's up? Welcome. Thank you. By the way, those of you who are downloading and listening and liking and all that stuff, you have, I don't know that you will ever know how honored I am by the fact that you are watching this thing, because this new venture, this podcast thing, to you guys, podcasts like everybody's got one. To me, this is such a new thing. So thank you for showing up. And if you're a fan of Temptation Island, you're going to love this episode. I've talked about this before, but the show appears to be one thing, and what it actually was something else. And I always say the joke, looks like porn, feels like Oprah. But it happens behind the scenes. There's a vibe. And what I get to do on Temptation Island was something I never thought would be the case. I got hired as the host. It was a reboot from back in 2001. I got hired as the host. I showed up, so glad to have the gig. I'm like, whatever they tell me to do, I'm going to do. And what it turned out was I ended up sitting on a box in the jungle with these young people grappling with some issues and having real talk. Never thought that was what this would turn out to be. And so I have these people during the bonfire, but they're there for a long time, and they have feelings, and they're in their feelings every day, on camera and off camera. And what you don't know is that there is a crew of people who wrangle, but are their point person in the process. And two of them are with me today, who are far more than just people I work with to me. Taja, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And Murph, thank you so much for showing up. So Murphy and I developed a connection. Safe to say we developed a connection pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was, but it was just a vibe thing.
Yeah. And we'll get into it. But that season 3, it was special.
Pandemic season.
Yeah, it was pandemic season. So I think that there was an increased amount of forced intimacy for that.
Forced intimacy.
You know?
So the reason I wanted to have hi Tosh.
Hi.
The reason I asked you guys to be here, this department, is because it dawned on me as I'm sitting thinking about it is that what I do on the bonfires is on TV, but y'all are doing pretty much the same thing on the daily, because these casts are up in their feelings. They're being asked to do some crazy, not so much being asked to do crazy stuff, but they're in a crazy situation.
Yeah.
And their point person to complain, to act out, to demand is y'all.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you have to not give away the information, but somehow find the line of supporting them in the process to keep them okay.
Yeah.
So I want to start by giving you some flowers before I get into asking you how you do it. Because you're basically doing a bonfire every day, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Right. So what I want to tell you from my seat, gray hair, I don't color it anymore. See what I did? Just rocking the white.
I like
Silver
it. Looks
Fox,
good.
baby.
It's whatever it is. It's whatever it is. At least I have it. What's left of it. Anyway, out of the ego, back to you. What I wanted to say is I have been on other reality shows and other shows.
Yeah.
Please don't tell me that, in fact, we're the same thing and I think you guys are better than that. But what I think is the case is y'all do it in a way that's the road less traveled. So speak to that if you would. That how you handle it is with...
Well, I think our team, first of all, we have a really solid team.
It's a squad. It's a family.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
I think that's the foundation. And personally, I really have to credit my guy Joe. Joe Hall. He's the one that got me into production back in the day when I first moved to LA, and he was working under Lisa Lopez. He started working in the office, and then they picked up G's to Gents. And like 2 weeks after him getting his office PA job, they brought him on set because it was just like, oh yeah, there's just like hip looking black dude that's walking around. Like, you could probably be useful here. And then brought him on set. And then a week after, like pre-production, moved him to the talent team. So he had no experience, not even like any type of vision of like, this is where I want to go. He just was thrusted into this.
He was a personality hire.
Pure personality hire. And that was the game that he gave me when I first started working, was like, hey, dog, don't come up here with a tool belt and dirty shoes on looking like you're ready to be asked to take the trash out. It's like, you fly, like, come through just how you come through, and like they gonna ask you to do some shit that's fitting. I'm sorry, can I cuss, bro?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a little out of pocket. All right, cool. Yeah, but I want to be as natural as possible, But yeah, he's like, come through in something that's fitting, and you'll be treated as such. And little like baseline principles that he picked up from Lisa Lopez, who was the talent manager and producer at that time. She's a boss and a beast in the industry. I think he applied some of the good things that he learned, and then knew some of the pitfalls.
You learn what to do and what not to do.
Exactly.
From any
great person.
Joe's Oakland. Right?
Joe's from Oakland. We're all from the Bay Area.
Right. So there's this NorCal vibe.
Yeah.
And so you got to get this. And let's just talk about season 3. Forget season 1 and 2, but season 3 is what we're really... I mean, for us, it was an experience. I don't know if it showed up on camera. It doesn't matter to me. It was just what we went through was, I won't ever forget it. And I've been in this business well before y'all were born, right? If we have to tell the truth. But Joe built a team, and the team, when you guys come in, to any outside observer would say, that's the talent of some like hip-hop rock show. Right?
Yeah.
Like they're about to do a concert and they're just in our hotel at the same time. And the vibe is like you just want to be in that club.
Yeah, I think that was a special thing. We had a certain unapologetic aesthetic about us that kind of rocked some people. It rocked some people. But it also gave us a spotlight to do well. So because we were down to do the
people
work,
had to come up to your level.
Yeah, it was like, nah, we really mobbing though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we look good and we work better.
But this is what I dug about that squad and still do, is that all that mob mentality was inclusive. Like, they were a squad in there. You got to understand how production works. It's 170 people.
Straight
so
up.
The grips are one tribe, right? Audio's a different tribe. Camera's a different tribe. Producers, whole other tribe. Whole and drama. Like, that's the show, really.
Yeah.
Just the producers. Talent Wranglers is a tribe.
And let me say, we've been trying to get that show made for so long.
For a minute. And that would be the one you want to watch.
When we was on season 3, we'd be like, man, turn the motherfucking cameras around.
Right.
Like, turn them around, bro.
If they just see who's hooking up, who's crying.
Yeah. It's crazy.
We had to back up. I didn't tell the whole story. So what happened? What happened was, and how I got in this and accepted in this is a whole other story. And then just craziness. But that was season.
That was season 4
was when you and me were hanging out on the lawn.
Yeah, on the beach.
Right, so season 3 was a pandemic. We've been shut down for 15 months. we thought we were on a roll. We did season 1, season 2. It was all good. Trifari now comes on as executive producer, co-executive producer, and we're good to go. And then I'm literally in a wardrobe fitting in March when the wardrobe stylist says, that they've delayed us 2 weeks. And I'm like, what? Because I just started a remodel on my house, and I kind of need that check, yo. And I already have a record locator for my ticket to go to work, and pandemic hits. So now we're locked down. And so all this work goes on with Hawaii, and we finally get allowed to do it. So our show was almost like the creator of the protocol for how to do a show in a bubble. Mm-hmm. So we were in this beautiful resort, but like Robbie says, but they turned Hawaii off.
Yeah.
Right? Like all the planters
nuts.
didn't have plants in them, and the fountains weren't fountaining, and the music wasn't musicking. It was
nuts.
I call it the tropical shining. It was like nuts.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the craziest part would be like after a rough day, a long day, you don't unplug, like you don't tap out.
There's nowhere to go.
You just go back to the room and you can still see and hear everything from your balcony. So I would just be like,
yeah. Well, what happened was normally there's 2 villas. Crew is staying in one hotel. Staff staying in another hotel. I got my setup somewhere because,
player, lush. You feel me? Talk that talk.
And we see each other work, and then occasionally if you're on the right group text, you'll find out where the party is and show up to the party or whatever. What happened that was a negative was that we have to go in to this bubble and not leave. Not go. The beach is right there, but there's a fence. You can't go to the beach, although I bet y'all did. I didn't break the rules.
You know what? That first season, I never went to the beach.
So we had to stay here.
Yeah.
What was born out of it for me was the FOMO in me, like I don't want to miss something. If anything was going on, the cast, the 2 villas were in the hotel. All of the PAs, everybody had a room in the hotel. Every single person in the same hotel, right? So, and we had 1 day off a week. So when the day off came, there was nowhere to go. So if there was a party, it was everybody's party.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a lot we could do. Like you had to sign up for your hour in the pool. Only 30 people at a time could be in the pool.
Yeah.
You had to 6 feet away.
I was not there that season.
Yeah, you weren't there for that time.
I was not
she came
there.
the next season.
So the vibe that got created was, the show was good, but we threw down.
Yeah. We were there.
Yeah.
We were there. So the whole don't shit where you eat situation.
We were shitting everywhere.
That went all the way out the window. Yeah, dog. It was turned. It was unique.
Responsible. We got the job done.
1,000%.
100%. And that was the other thing that's important to note is because I've been on shows like this too where you're playing harder than you're working because nobody cares about the show. Everybody was invested in doing the gig.
Yeah.
Hardcore. And we loved hanging out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to turn. So that's where the vibe really took off. But I want to talk about, and Taj, jump in here. I want to talk about how what I'm doing in the bonfire is real talk and raw emotion, and we're having these moments, right? But it continues. And so on a day-to-day basis, maybe speak a little bit to what your job is and how you do it differently than what the industry often demands, based on Joe's kind of philosophy and what your squad has become.
I look at it, I always tell people, I'm taking care of my kids right now.
Because they become children.
These are my kids. This is my family now, and I have to take care of them. I have to make sure they're dressed by a certain time. I have to make sure they're fed. I have to make sure, they're somewhat mentally okay. But in order for me to do that, I need to be mentally okay.
Say that.
I have to be good to make sure that you're good as well. So
and that's why that squad, that mob,
exactly
supports each other.
Yeah, but sometimes you're going through some heavy shit. You can't be there for everyone.
Right.
You got to take a minute for yourself, and then you see these people every single day, and they can tell when you're not in a good mood.
And you're connected now. You're more than just
exactly.
How do you keep that safety? Oh, not safety, but how do you balance how close you get and how separate from them? Because part of doing reality show is we can't drive the story. We have to get out of the way.
Exactly, because I'm not a producer. So it's
But y'all do more producing than the producers do sometimes.
It's
you have
tricky.
to keep them in
It's
place.
really
It's
tricky.
tricky.
They'll like, people would come up to me, the talent, they'll come up to me and vent to me. And, there's only so much that I could really say because I can't produce you. I can't tell you that your fucking boyfriend is over there cheating on you at the
can't tell
other
the
house.
stuff.
But I can tell you, just stay strong. Like, everything's going to be fine. Like, you're fine. You got this. Just stay strong. Like, you came here to experience, like, for the experience, right?
What about how do you deal with, because I really think that you guys handled it differently than I think the industry standard is. So when somebody's feeling like crisis-y or broken or danger zone, what do?
We show compassion.
Oh, say it again.
We show compassion. I would want someone to show me compassion. Just like treat people how you want to be treated.
I think that is the baseline for our department. Not only did Joe like kind of start this wave, and we've adapted it on other shows, and then I've adapted it with my teams that I create. Like, we have to acknowledge the fact that like we are all talent, because like everyone that is a part of our team has like a certain creative outlet.
This is almost a side gig.
Yeah, it almost,
Yours is music.
Yeah, it really was, especially because of the pandemic, how that hit a lot of creative industries. It left this space for us to kind of pick and pull some of the dopest people
That normally would be busy doing their
that
thing.
would be busy doing
I
other
was
things.
working at a record label before, and he hit me up. Murph got me into this. I would not be here right now if it wasn't for him.
Joe
And he
got
was like,
you jumped her in.
hey, do you want to come work in Hawaii as a talent wrangler? I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to work in Hawaii.
You
Of
had me
course.
at Hawaii.
Like,
Yeah.
what do you
The job
mean?
isn't
Of
important.
course. I'm all the way in. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, we came into this around 2008, myself, Joe, and Callie King, and worked for 51 Minds for a couple of years. And
That's a production company that produced
so much reality TV, The Flavor of Love, Rock of Love, Ray J, For the Love of Ray J, all that stuff. So they were a powerhouse at that time, and producing a lot of content. So we were kind of in the war at that time and getting our chops up. And all the while, doing music and trying to like break into that industry as well. And when the opportunity arose and we were able to do music full time and focus our energies on that, and Calvin is doing all of the vlogging and music videos and stuff like that, we had this baseline knowledge of production that we could then apply to our independent grind. And
So
then
let me give you a lesson to take out of that, young people coming up. Everything you do serves the next thing you do,
say that.
even when it doesn't look like it's the thing you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
When I started out, I had been a singer and a dancer. You may not know this. Musical theater wasn't hip. Now it's cool. It wasn't cool.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a job, and I went to work at Dick Clark Productions. Similar to like you going to 51 Minds, I went entry-level PA, not even a PA, at Dick Clark Productions. What I figured out there was I don't want to be a PA. The best way to not be a PA is to be the best one as fast as I can.
Yeah.
Gather all the knowledge I can. And now when I come on a set as a host, people are like, how do you... Well, because I have seen every aspect of this job. I didn't just come on as the host.
Yeah.
I know the edit. I know the PAs. I know what's going on,
So-
and so I serve the bigger purpose. So that's what I'm saying is that where you showed up pays you off in music.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, it pays you off wherever you are.
2 points to that, right? So then for the next 10 years, we are traveling the world. We've toured, we've made our own music videos. We've had shows everywhere and collaborated with all these different people and, done music videos for them, like Ty Dolla $ign and like Man and all these cool people that were popping.
You shot these videos, you produced them?
Yep. We were making the content
Gotcha.
as well as doing the stuff for myself, YMTK, and,
So
all
give
the
a shout out so
around
that people
it.
know where that is and what that is.
Oh, yeah. You can find my music everywhere. Google YMTK.
YMTK.
Yeah. But it was a special time in like pop music because like there was this impetus of Bay Area like young kids in LA, and we really stuck together. So Nick Nack and Bobby Brackens and the Cataracts kind of changed pop music for the radio with like a G6 and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. These are Bay Area kids, two little Jewish Bay Area kids. You know what I'm saying? Like from Berkeley, you know, like nobody knows that they were the sound that kind of changed everything.
That NorCal sound.
Yeah, not even the NorCal sound. I'm saying pop. Nick Nack is big for the NorCal sound, and he does Loyal and I'm the One for Justin Bieber and all that. These are the same like Bay Area kids that we were all out here at the same time.
So how do you, knowing that you are an artist, show up to be of service in this thing that doesn't appear to be in line with being an artist? Yeah. How do you put your ego aside and be who you... Because here's what I want you to get. The reason I have you guys here is you've made such an impact on me emotionally.
Yeah.
And what we were doing on this stupid fucking reality show mattered to all of us at a deep level. And who we were to each other matters beyond that taping. So how did you guys bring... Because I have a feeling... I feel like your department was a lot of that vibe across the whole thing.
So basically, as I said, the 2 points to what you had said, right? Working with all of these artists for all of that amount of time, not only are we the talent, but then we know how to work with talent. So even if it's unconsciously, we have been doing this work before 2020 arrives. So when Joe hits me up and says, hey man, like, you know, you trying to go to Hawaii, Temptation Island, blah, blah. I'm like, he's booked me for shows out there before. I'm like, yo, do you know what's popping in the world right now? You know, there's but he's like, you know, they want us to do this show. I have to develop a team and this and this and that. And this is who I'm thinking. And I'm like, fam, we haven't done reality TV in 10 years. Yeah. And Joe's response is, they don't need to know that.
Right.
So that's how we get back into it. You know,
another lesson is just say yes, yo.
And then
just do it.
On the flip, because I wasn't interested in production and I didn't have that love for it when I first started, my whole game, which is why I know what the game is as a PA, you know, I don't hate on PAs, but like my whole game was to show up and do as the least amount of possible. Like, I don't want to do anything when I come to work.
Yeah, I don't want to lift anything.
No, I'm not trying to lift stuff. Yeah. Like, I'm here to contribute. But like, let me contribute in the way that I want to contribute, you know? It was very self-centered because I didn't have a passion for production at that time. I was here to get my check and go to the studio. Yeah. So I was always jumping around to all the different departments, kind of like checking in to see if they need anything, but really just shooting the shit and connecting the dots and just, you know, messing with people. And then both of those things, you know, working with talent the last 10 years and then kind of like being a liaison between departments and just like fucking with everybody, bringing those baseline principles to Temptation Island season 3 was, I think, one of the ways we had the biggest impact because it was very... Even though it was the forced intimacy situation, it was very segregated as far as like...
That's production is that way.
Exactly. Grips are with grips and, you know, audio's with audio. And
I hang with everybody.
Exactly. And that was a special thing because it was like our energy meeting your energy. Yeah. I don't think anybody could have...
I remember seeing y'all in the lobby of the Andaz. Andaz is close. It's really weird vibe. It's like what happens is you get home... I land at the airport... They didn't give me a car. They took me a tested driver who was only that.
Yeah.
Takes you in a van to the hotel. I checked in the lobby of the hotel. They give you a one-use key because it goes in, but you can't come out for 7 days out of your room. And when we actually were able to come out, I remember coming in the lobby and your whole crew were sitting there hanging out. I didn't know who you really were yet.
Yeah.
And I kind of came up and introduced you and noticed the sneakers. And that's when the first time somebody told me about the app Goat.
Oh, yeah, I told you about Goat.
Yeah, and I've been fucked up ever since. But that I remember that vividly because, again, I didn't know who you were. I thought you might have been the actual, you know, contestants.
Yeah.
Because the vibe was that. And then what happened was, under great pressure of what appears to be stifling situation actually comes forced intimacy.
Yeah.
And you can either lean into it or you can rebel against it. And there were a couple of people that freaked out in their room, and we got rid of them.
Oh, my God.
Not got rid of them. We took care of them and took them out because they couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But for those of us who bought the vibe,
Yeah, you
it
gotta
was
lean
an
all
experience
the way in.
I would never trade.
For sure.
I would do it again like that if they would let us do that.
Sometimes I want to go back to that. Sometimes
it's still kind of nice to be able to go to a bar outside of work. But
yeah, but sometimes like when I get certain complaints or like people kind of, like if they haven't been through that, I'm like, bro, I wish you could just experience this and know how good you have it right now.
See, now you're talking like I talk because I'm old.
Yeah.
You guys got it good.
No, I'm
leave
serious.
your hotel room.
Yeah.
I think that what I want you guys to understand is that in the world of reality TV, every show's not the same. And every producer's not the same. And who they involve, the vibe isn't the same. And there is, especially, and the reason I like you guys here is because that position you don't ever hear about, but it is probably the most important as far as what's going on with the cast. Because the cast is not popping, the show's not popping. That's just it. And the cast are like prima donna. This is no slam to cast members who've been on my show. I love all of you. You know that. I follow you. We talk. You know I love you. But when you're on TV, your ego is triggered and your needs, you got needs. I need this. I know that. My hair, about that. And when that shit starts to pop off, immediately, y'all are the ones who have to feel that. Not me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not even the producers. They do. But really, because what happens is, let's say your cast is needed on set. They're sequestered somewhere, being held somewhere, usually longer than they want to be. And they're sitting with you.
Yeah.
What you're speaking to, and I'm hearing really for the first time, is that your background as artists, as talent, lets you treat them as talent.
Yeah.
Not as less than. Because a lot of people that do your job look at them as the cattle.
Well, to also just treat them as regular people.
Yeah,
Down.
We're meeting them where they're at.
You have to get them to trust you and to respect you.
As opposed to what the industry standard is.
Like,
Which
they don't
is-
trust the producers.
Well, because
They don't. They got to trust
A lot
us.
of times it's not genuine. And I have been extremely fortunate to have great examples of like good producing, and when you talk about a culture, when you talk about the special culture of Temptation Island, right? Like, I will gladly and humbly take credit for establishing a certain vibe of that show, but the reality of it is, it starts with Trifari. She is an incredible mind in that space, and more than her mind, she operates with her heart, and I think that that's very rare in this industry.
it's not found.
It's not.
I've been here longer than you.
Yeah.
So when Trifari came on board, and who knows what the future is on that show, and who knows, Trifari's busy. Who knows who's doing what where.
Yeah.
The point is, there are ways to do reality TV.
I just know from our
It's
perspective,
not that here.
we wouldn't, because since that time, our team has gotten larger. We've done so many shows and been blessed to travel
over
the
the world.
world and contribute. And this is something that literally started when I met you. So if you think about in that short time, it's been like about 3-4 years now.
3 seasons, more like 4.5 years.
4.5 years.
Yeah, man.
So in that time, bro, it's like it's gotten kind of crazy, and I have to credit you and Trifari for allowing us the space to be an extremely unique, highly melanated. We got to keep it all the way funky, bro. Highly melanated crew.
Yes.
And this isn't love and hip hop. This isn't, we're mobbing
We're on
around.
USA. It's a white show.
Bro, it's a white show. And and the thing is, it's
Look
like,
at your boy.
we're
Look at him.
Man, you remember Space Jam when they were like, man, he's not white, he's clear. It's a special situation to have the support and validation, because like you said, there were a lot of people that were not fucking with us, bro. You know, it was
in the industry.
Just that first season.
Oh, first season, yeah.
Just us, how we were in the lobby and listening to music, and it was off-putting because they didn't know.
Yeah,
it looked different. You're like, yo, bro, y'all do things different. Different. Everybody doesn't accept different as good.
Well, let's talk about that, because I experience different. But there's two types of people, and there's the world, which is different is dangerous, and I'm against it.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, my take was different. How do I get in that club? Can I play with you?
But that's what I'm saying. It was immediate. You coming and tapping in with us you was just like,
I want that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go over there.
I'm hanging here.
But bro, you don't understand. Sometimes you're so humble. Like, the reality of it is, for the host of the show, to be like, yo, I'm about to go tap in with them. That's a different type of validation.
I'm talking days off on the beach.
Bruh. But immediate. Took us a couple of days for you to be like, so yeah, that's my crew.
Yeah.
And that then, it's going to permeate throughout the whole crew of like, let's be a little bit more open to whatever they're doing. And then, as I said, when the work gets done a certain way.
See, now that's the backbone.
Yeah.
You can have all the flavor, all the style, all that, but if you don't get your shit done, it doesn't count. As a matter of fact, it's count. That's why when they see the music playing in the lobby and all that, the first take for those of us in the business is they're fucking up.
Yeah,
this is trouble.
Yeah,
but if that department is firing on all pistons, back to Taja, what you said, compassion. You don't get how delicate it is. You don't get that in reality TV that you think is like professional wrestling and is. Mm-hmm. You don't get how on point, how tight, how triggered the people who are on camera, who don't do that for a living. That's not their gig, are forced into. That is dangerous ground. And in our industry, we're seeing it's handled toxically a lot. And I'm glad to hear you guys say this, because I haven't witnessed. I've seen toxic moments. I've seen people flip out. I've seen drama. But I've never seen anybody from our department being the fosterer of the drama.
Nope.
Yeah, man. There's times where, we have our little sidebars and we're kicking it on set, and you just always catch me in a certain space, and the culture of a lot of sets and production is very high anxiety and like high stress, and then that gets transferred from person to person and department to department. And like, one thing I always tell you when I tell everybody else, man, these people ain't gonna bring me outside myself. Mm-mm. And then that is a culture that our department, we establish very, very quickly with the talent, right? Of like, hey, we're here. We're your close confidant. You're close confidant
to the on camera cast.
To the cast. We're telling them immediately, and more so showing them that we are their advocates,
like, and we're the realest. For you,
like, bro, we the realest people y'all gonna meet.
And that was, now you're hitting on a difference, because what it could be is a PA vibe. I'm supposed to take you here, and you need to sit here quietly until it's time. And hold on. You can't talk now. But when you show up as talent, as somebody they want to be with,
somebody that they
want to come up to,
they would want to hang out with,
right?
When we tell them,
end up hanging out a lot.
When we tell them, hey, bro, you got to change clothes. Like, if I'm not fly, they what do you mean?
What do you know about my clothes?
What you think I should wear? I don't care about what your opinion is. You know what I'm saying?
But it's the ear you have, and Taja hit on a little bit that. They hit you guys with drama.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying this is a slam to cast, because I wouldn't be in that shoe. I'm telling you, I got enough drama doing my job, and I'm getting paid. Right? My shit is good. So when you're under the microscope, I got love. I got love for you. I'm talking to the contestants right now. You know how much love I have for you putting it out there for us. But it's going to blow up.
Yeah.
And it's like, how many people are you personally dealing with at any given time?
10.
You've got 10?
12. Who knows? Who knows? We're all of them.
Yeah.
On Temptation Island.
Do you divide and conquer? Like you're having a problem, you say, can you help me here? How do you handle it?
We split houses. So we'll have one team at one house and the other team at the other house.
So, yeah.
This is tricky.
Basically, on TI, you'll have the two houses separated. And before that, like before we even get into the house, when we're in the hotel,
that's
when it's really crazy.
Because they're nervous and we don't let them do anything.
And and they're in there. So that's why I say we establish a certain culture early. That's when we win them over, because that's the most stressful time. When we win it, like when we win them in that space, then it's like they completely trust us and respect us, because it's finna get crazy. You know, it's going to get heavy, and
this is the thing. You can either be the shitty RA in college, don't smoke in your room, or you're the spirit guide. We've been down this, I'm making it kind of silly, but we've been through this whole process. You don't even know, cast members, what you're getting into.
Yeah.
I got you. That doesn't mean I'm going to love you up. That means I'm going to let you be raw. We need you to do that, but know that I've got you, and that's what you guys do.
And
that sound right?
Think, like they know us very quickly, to where they start making jokes about us or imitating us like very, very early, because they know like, oh, like Murph's the fun uncle, like he's finna come through, it's all good, but don't fuck with him though. You know,
but the fact that they're happy to see you as opposed to, oh no,
yeah, they're like comfortable around us,
and
now.
They know like, oh yeah, like Taja's got me for real. She's gonna go to that, but do not fuck with Taja.
This is
like
why,
she's the enforcer on our team. That's what's crazy.
Is that right, Taja?
1,000%.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm really nice, but like, don't get on my back.
You just looked straight in my eyes and I got scared.
No, we have done a very good job of establishing roles on our team.
It's
and like,
so interesting to me, and this is why I want to talk to you, because what you're saying is very much the same experience I have. Because I choose to go in and say to the cast right off the bat. And the difference is they've seen me and they have a predisposed vision of who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And usually they expect me to be full of shit because I'm on TV.
Yeah.
Right. And I go to them and say right off the bat, look, you don't know what you've gotten into. I do. I'm not here to be your friend, but I got you. And I say to them, even though it's not my job, if you're not getting your needs met, and you see me on set, you come up and say, I need this. Mm-hmm. And I'm a boss. I'll get it done.
Exactly.
Knowing that I'm never going to have to do that because y'all are the ones doing that. But it's the same thing so I can now so on the bonfire, how can I come at somebody hard, which y'all know I have done.
Yeah. And
y'all don't even see the parts because they cut some of that out. I can come at you hard and we're still hugging afterwards because I've established a relationship of, look, I'm with you. I'm an advocate for you, even if it means doing something that makes you not like me. Back to Taja. Taja's your girl. Don't fuck with her.
Yep.
But that establishing that relationship of respect and compassion, I had to talk to you guys about it because I don't hang out on purpose. I don't hang out when the shit's going down because when I'm there, it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
Everybody acts different. But we see each other a lot, and my feeling was exactly what you're confirming. Mm-hmm. I'm aware that your job is very much like my job, but you don't see it on TV.
For sure.
And yet y'all look far greater and better looking for TV than I do.
Stop.
Nah. Don't play me.
You should see. I mean, I pull up. What's the... He's not your department, but who is the PA dude? Not Bertrus. What was his name?
Virus.
Yeah,
young Virus.
Virus. This guy just as smooth as butter, right? Hardworking, good guy, great guy.
Super hardworking. That's the crazy thing.
I drive on a set. I drive myself from one house to the other, and with me is Robbie because I bring my girl everywhere.
Hell yeah.
Makeup artist, who's a woman. Wardrobe stylist, who's a woman, and Robbie, and me, and we pull in, and Virus is like in the parking lot where my cone is from my spot, which you have no idea how important that is to me because I didn't have one when I was a PA, but whatever. And Byron's like, right this way, and moves the thing, and smile and hugs. And all three girls are just like giggling, like, ooh, there's Byron's. Ooh, can't handle it. But we have so many people like Byron who are stars somewhere other than here.
1,000%.
Right?
Yeah.
That are doing this gig and bringing the A game to this gig. No vibe of, this is beneath me.
I have to credit Big John for that, too. Big John, he told me something a while ago.
He went from PA to the penthouse like that.
Yeah. I fuck with Big John, bro.
Yeah.
And he was a huge advocate of our team and just letting us rock how we rock as well.
When he became production manager of the house?
Yeah.
He was a PA like season 1.
No. I'm talking about Big John. Like Bandage.
Oh, Anquist John.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. John Anquist. I'm sorry. I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, he was just like, man, the talent team has a vibe. I don't want to fuck with their vibe. Like, I don't want to hear anybody say anything about talent team. They have their vibe. Their vibe works incredible for what we want. I'm not touching the talent team, And I was just like, damn, right on, man. That means a lot. He was like, yeah, you guys.
But then you guys didn't abuse that.
No, man.
If you guys acted up or got in trouble offset or started to, mess with the cast because.
Bro, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But that's a sign. Again, I speak from a different experience of having watched an evolution. You have to remember, I was like on one of the first reality shows before we knew what it was. Yeah. Temptation Island was like Big Brother, and then Survivor, and then Temptation Island. No one knew what it was. So I've watched the evolution of this business become what it is. And I forgot why I brought that up, except to give myself props. I forgot what we're saying.
That's enough for me.
Yeah. It just... if it ain't broke, what I was going to say is when producers are not good at their job, they control everything.
Yeah.
When producers know their job, if this ain't broke, let's not fix it. You can allow things to be unconventional if you know ultimately, like if Trifari or John had to say, yeah, not that, you guys would go, down, not that.
Yo, the dopest and the producers that I've learned the most from, like as I started venturing into producing, are so unconventional and are not afraid when things get off the rails. They actually thrive in that. So like Dory and JP, like, bruh, they're so clean. It's under, and I was talking to Joe about this. I'm like, bruh, you don't realize how dope, like the dope ass producers that you work with are until you work with some that are like not as dope or extremely forgettable. Like as many shows as I've done,
like extremely forgettable.
Like what you don't realize when you're working with an A team, you don't realize how good they are until you have something to compare it to.
Exactly.
So one of my favorite things when I was coming up, I was a warm up guy, the guy who entertains the studio audience. Right. I had some jokes. It was pretty good. But one of my favorite things to do is do the gig, kind of kill it, and then not do it the next week. And then somebody else would come in, and then I come back, and I'm like, I want double the money. I never said that.
Yeah.
But the point is, you don't know what's good until you've seen it when it's not. And so the reason I mentioned that I started way back before it was a thing is I started, when I did Temptation Island in 2001, it was like not a thing. It was a huge show, but reality we didn't think was going to last. Then I was out of the game. I did the Antiques Roadshow. I was doing game shows, whatever. I didn't have a reality show per se. And the industry of reality TV and how we do it, what a talent wrangler is, what a segment producer is, how this whole thing goes down became an industry. When I showed back up, including talent, how it was hosted became a way of doing it. When I came back, I had been out of the game.
Yeah.
And so when I came in, I did it my way, which was to go to the people I'm working with and learn some names and get to know people because that's my comfort zone. And people like you and others are like, what's up with him?
Mm-hmm.
I remember somebody saying, how do you know my name? I'm like, because I fucking work with you, yo. Like, we work together.
It's different.
You know my name. I know your name. And then when we go to set and I start to do my thing, the appreciation I got from everybody, because it was different than what they've seen, which is, I had an earpiece, but it was like other hosts were phoning it in, and that was acceptable. There's no slam to other hosts. That's what the industry became. I just did it. Ignorance is bliss. I did what I know how to do. So I remember having a meeting. We always have this Hawaiian blessing before the show starts. And I got a chance to speak to the crew, and I said, from a place of age and experience, I said, look, here's the thing about TV shows, man. I've been on shows that seem great and they get canceled. And I've been on shows that don't seem great and they last. And the only thing I can see between one show that's successful and one that isn't has nothing to do with what the format is. It has to do with the vibe. It has to do with our vibe. And I said, there's audio, there's cameras, there's talent, there's producers, all these different tribes, right? You're going to have bad days where it's a breakdown. And you can choose to blame the other department, infight, have a drama, or we can recognize how important it is that we are a family and we can protect the vibe. And then people started coming up to me afterwards going, protect the vibe. Like it was a thing.
The vibe.
And by the way, so I'm announcing merch for the podcast. Maybe. But to that end, I said it, but I don't know that I was part of. I'm going to take credit. I was a certainly a catalyst for the vibe, but your department was very much the vibe, and the producing department. There's a lot of producers up there.
1,000%.
That's that thing too. So before we go, I had to tell this story because it was a moment. I have a picture of it. Should be framed in I got to find it and frame it. So before the bonfires, they're working all day. The cast is uptight as fuck. They know it's just not good. Everybody, and so you have to deal with that. Like, you don't understand. They're on edge, and we don't shoot until it's dark, obviously. So I get there before it's dark, get a little dinner, makeup, clothes, whatever. But then there's a little moment where we're kind of waiting for the world to get dark enough to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
We're up on a mountain house in Maui that overlooks, sadly, what was once Lahaina Town. Literally right there.
Yeah.
And sun's about to set. It's like, it's where you want to be in the world. And I wanted to get centered so I could be of service at my best at this bonfire when there's no script, and I could really do what I could to transcend from reality TV to real. So I laid down on the grass and crossed my arms over my chest and kind of closed my eyes and meditated in the grass on the hill right by catering. I was like, I didn't go into a place. I'm like, this is good. And while I'm doing it, I felt I wasn't alone, but whatever. And when I opened up my eyes, Murph is laying right there next to me, grabbing the vibe.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
That was a great moment for me. Thank you for that.
Thank you, man. You set the table. Like I told you, like I was walking by and saw it, I was like, yep.
Yeah.
It's like easy call, bro.
I can fuck with some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they took a picture of that too.
Yeah, it was a moment.
I just want to say I had no clue what I was getting myself into.
As
when
did
I got
most
to,
of us.
I had no.
So what did you expect
clue
and what did it turn out to be?
At all. I mean, I was like, okay, well, I'm a Wrangler. I feel like they're gonna want to fucking test me and throw me in the flames. They're gonna want to test me, so I'm gonna do the best that I can and show them I'm not gonna be a Wrangler next year. And I wasn't.
Yeah, she did that.
I did that. It was crazy. It was interesting. I was like, what the fuck did I get myself into? Like, these people are crazy. They're letting their partners date other people in other houses. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not ever doing this.
I think another thing as far as like,
yeah, right.
And I know we got a dip, but like our department is 24 hours.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. That's
Every other
24
department,
hours.
What do you
they
think
go to
happens
work
at 3 in the morning?
Every
Yeah.
single day.
Our
Yeah.
department is 24
And
hours.
on days off,
We're still there.
There's
we
no
have to
off.
throw them in places where they can't talk to one another, and somebody's got to keep them there.
Yeah.
And not have them beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Because people get uptight.
Yeah. It's
So,
nuts.
just to wrap this, I just wanted to have you in because I wanted to confirm what I thought was true. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's true.
I want to thank you for accepting me and supporting me the way you always did. Every time I'd show up, there was just... And I joked about seeing your Instagram and you like hanging out with other hosts and other things. I'm like, that's my motherfucker. That's not
Dog,
good for me.
There'll never be
And then
another
I'm like,
Mark.
was it real what we had? Because I felt like that was real.
Nah.
But so what I want to tell you is that it was important to me for it to be a real thing, and it was a relief to me to discover your tribe of people. And I could say this to other departments because you know
For
how
sure.
if you couldn't find me, you know I was probably in the grip lounge. Because that's where the good shit was. I'm saying way too much. But so I like...
Turn the motherfucking cameras around, I'm telling you.
Right?
Bruh,
Right.
it's too interesting on this side.
It was so good. So many
They need to
personalities.
turn the cameras
But
around.
truthfully, your acceptance of me and support of me helped me do my job, where you could certainly get up in your head about, my ego's triggered left and right too. At one point, we were on the beach, you and me, on a day off, just loving life.
Yeah.
And I was talking about, you were giving me some flowers about stuff I'd said at the bonfire. And I was saying, I don't know if I'm helping or hurting. I was having some feelings about it. And you said, it's a calling. It's not a choice. You're being called to do something. And that really landed for me. So I want to thank you for that.
Man, it's love.
And so that says a lot about who Murph is, but Taja and that whole department is that you guys have a calling, but it's not particularly production. It's not even music. All right, this is me now talking to you like you're my kids. Your calling and your contribution is what you've spoken to. Your calling is connection. Your calling is inclusion. Your calling is advocacy for others. Your calling is supporting artists being artists. That's what you're called to do, and that's there's what you do and who you be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's who you be.
That's
who
who
you
I
are
be.
being.
That's who I be.
I didn't mean to appropriate. But what's funny is I wasn't trying to be cool. I was. That's actually the language from some workshop works I've done, which is there's the doing and then the beingness. So who do you be to others? Who are you being is a better way of saying it. But your beingness is what I connected to and stay connected to. Like you called, without the future of Temptation Island, whatever's going on, as we're figuring out what the next chapter is, I got one phone call to say, how you doing? Check in.
My dog.
So
You're on my phone as Mark. Capitalize my dog. I keep telling you, bro, you really my dog.
I'm in other people's phones a different way. That one I will
goodness.
take. I love you both.
Love you too, brother.
Give a shout out for those people listening where the YMTK is your music interface. That's like where we find all things you.
Yeah. You could find a bunch of music by myself. You can go down the rabbit hole of music that I may have written for other people. If you want to get into the credits, Murphy J. Holmes, probably. But yeah, I just have a bunch of music out. I have some cool projects on deck. So working with some really dope artists all the time.
Do me a solid and check that out and buy it if you can buy it, if it's purchasable.
Yeah.
Listen to it. Do that thing. And Taj, what about you?
Well, yes, Taja Barber. I also have some music out. And if you ever need a DJ, you can just find me by Googling me.
Cool.
Just Google me.
You honor me by showing up, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us, bro.
And know that as our lives continue on, I'll call you for support, but you can count on me for support. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the last thing we'll say is that if you think you can do this by yourself, stop thinking. If you don't build team and tribe, you're not going to go very far. Somebody's got to row the boat when you can't, okay? And you need to row the boat when they can't. And that's what that forced intimacy may have created, but that it's lasted means it was real as opposed to fabricated. And so I'm saying to you, thank you for supporting me. You know I got you.
Thank you.
Okay?
I got you too, brother.
I think we said enough. Very, very cozy feeling in here right now. I hope you feel it too. Thank you guys for checking out the podcast. We're growing it. We're learning. I'm learning. If there's something that landed for you that makes a difference for you, hit me up with a comment. And if there's something that triggered you that you didn't like, y'all love that trigger word. I use it all the time now, talking to you young kids. If you're triggered and you don't like it, let me know. And I will obsess over it far more than all the comments. That's all I will think about is the one person who was triggered by something I said. So if you want to fuck with me, hit me up. All right, that's it.